Hey, ladies. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. I sound good. What's up, ladies? Make sure to like the video as you come on in. So, I titled this live. I titled this live Modern Men Love Jezebels and Reject Wives. Right? I have a few reasons why I think this is worthy of conversation because I've been seeing just a quite a few things here in this space, and it's concerning and it's unfortunate. It's I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but maybe you guys will be. And I also have some things to show you. But my main question is to the ladies especially, do you guys think this is happening? Do you ladies believe that men are choosing to be with these women who make it clear that they're not traditional and not pro family, and they are going over to those women instead of women who want to be in relationships? Because I remember a few lives ago I showed you guys a study where I think it was like a thousand black people were being surveyed about life, and when relationships came up, the men were more likely to want relationships, or they were the main ones to want relationships. However, the women were not. Only 30% of those women want a relationship, or I think it was like 20%. And I think it was like the reverse for men, like 70% of men or something wanted relationships, right? And when you come here online, if you're on social media anywhere, especially YouTube, men are always crying about how there's no wives. They're always talking about how where are the good girls at? Where are the girls that are normal, that know how to treat a man and blah blah blah, right? Well, the funny part is there are plenty of women that are the quote unquote good girls. There's not a shortage. The issue is these men keep getting attracted to the same girl, right? To the same girl. There are girls that do OnlyFans. There are girls that dress a little, they dress how they want to dress on Instagram. They show cleavage, they show their backside. And there are girls who don't. There are women who don't dress like that, right? Personally, I'm on the side of women who don't dress like that. That's me personally, but I have no problem with women who do. But the women who do, they also don't make it very clear that they want a relationship, that they want to be a wife, that they want to have a family, that they want to be a mom, versus the other girls who are a little bit more on the reserved side, who do make it clear that they want to have a family, that they want to have someone. They don't get looked at. They don't get quote unquote picked. And that's another thing about these pick me channels, right? These pick me channels, we already know all they do all day is talk about black men, and they talk about how they want a man and how they claim that they're trying to help black women get a man, right? When I went into quote unquote pick meville, as I heard another BWE content creator call it, when I was watching some of those videos just to understand, they're talking about black women I barely even see around. They're talking about a small group of black women compared to the majority. Compared to the majority of black women are not single mothers. They're not on OnlyFans. They're not showing their booty on Instagram. There's more black women that can cook a good meal, right? Like, it's all about cooking in the community, period, is about the food. So when they make these videos and these men and women make these content making black women out to be some kind of a way, it's completely false. It's not true, right? There's more data to prove that black women are actually about their business. They are in school. There's more childless Black women and just women, period. Today, in modern day, women are the most childless and single than ever before in history. So when men are saying that they're trying to find a woman who doesn't have baggage and all these issues, you should be able to find her easily because that's the majority of women that are out here. So I'm also gonna play a video for you guys too, well, a TikTok, and we're gonna discuss it because this live is also gonna be about all of these men who are into these pickup artists guys that are just coming on the internet. And I was in like a little, I wouldn't say debate, but a little back and forth with a few guys in the comment section of a TikTok about a pickup artist guy giving his advice. And these guys swore, okay, they swore that they are going to make six figures at 35 and get with a woman who is like 21 with no bodies, that hasn't slept anywhere, and he's going to be able to wife her up after himself, after being whored out by these Jezebels, right? Now, I don't want to say the word Jezebel because I don't want to sound judgmental, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, women that are more modernized compared to traditional and reserved, and women that, want to stick to certain standards that they've set for themselves, and women that make it clear they want to be wives. Because remember, ladies, in my other live, I said that if you want a relationship, if you want to be married, especially if you want to be traditional, you are a minority of women. You are part of a minority group of women because the majority of women do not want to be traditional. The majority of women are more feminist before they are in their femininity, and they want to completely plan their life around not having a man. Female home ownership has increased over 80%. Over 80% in the past, like, I don't know, what, 10 years or so, right? And the women who are buying houses are saying that they're doing it and they're adamant on buying homes because they're pretty sure they're not going to have a man in their life, right? And I'm here to tell y'all that there is no shortage of women that want to be wives and that are traditional. Men are just overlooking them and putting attention onto the woman that they don't even want, especially the men in our community. If you're a Black woman, especially the men in our community, because they weren't raised by wives, so they have no idea how to look for one. They have no idea what one even looks like. So I'm going to play two things for you guys, and then I'm going to show you guys a few other things. The first thing is going to be this TikTok, and I don't have, well, hold on, because this guy was just talking all kinds of crazy nonsense, right? Oh, let me just try to go on his TikTok. But a lot of men are out here delusional. They're trying to make women that make it clear that they don't want to be um, in that traditional lifestyle. They're trying to get those women and make them into what they want, if that makes sense. Like, they're not accepting women for who they are. They're trying to make them into whoever the man wants her to be, right? And the problem with this is that men are wasting their time. Another thing I'm going to get into later is that I was in a clubhouse room the other day, and it was like I'm in a I follow like a wife's in training like clubhouse room. I follow all types of stuff, but I just so happen to be in that one. And they were talking about how a lot of men just have unrealistic expectations, that they are consistently always looking for women that in real life would not want them, and these men be 35 and up, and they're trying to spend their time in their younger years getting the bag, right, making all that money, as they should be. But then they also, in the meantime, want to run through women. This is going to backfire. This is going to backfire because the thing that these men don't understand is that when they quote unquote make it, you're not guaranteed a wife. You're not guaranteed a spouse. You're not guaranteed this woman that you swear you're going to get all because you make 135K a year. Like, you're not guaranteed that. And so these men are in these communities, manosphere, whatever, telling each other these lies, telling them don't date her if she has this career, don't date her if she lives here, telling them to don't date her for all of these other reasons. And the very woman that they're telling other men not to date are most likely the women that have, according to data even, they're the women that have that exemplify the qualities to sustain a long-term relationship. What's one thing they tell men? They tell men to not date women with PhDs, right? Well, according to research, especially Black women, the more educated you are, not only more likely you are to get married, but the more likely you are to stay married. The most likely you are to stay married. And the more you wait longer in life in terms of getting your stuff together, getting your career together, finishing school, the least likely you are to divorce. They're actually observing like young millennial married couples, and within the first 5 years the divorces for these marriages have decreased compared to marriages from, like, 2 decades or so ago, and within those first 5 years those marriages were not lasting. Well, today the marriages are, and they're blaming that on the reason because younger people that wait until they finish school, wait until they are financially where they want to be, where they are at, where they want to be in their career before they settle down, is actually helping them have better relationships and better marriages. And these men are not choosing women that meet that standard for a long-term relationship. They're choosing hot girls, or they're looking at hot girls, super super hot girls that are clearly in the business of, exemplifying their beauty, which is fine, but they're looking at these women trying to make them wives. And they don't understand that women who are extremely, extremely, extremely beautiful also probably want to be married and have kids someday, but they're not going to just get with any Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes her way with six figures. Women that I know like that, and women that I even see, they're like definitely choosing the best man for the job. And if they're attracting nothing but men that make six figures, they're not just going to choose a guy that makes six figures. They're going to try to aim even higher than that. Like, this is a process. And these guys are so delusional and clearly don't get out much. They clearly don't get out much because they swear that once they make 115K, 130K, they'll get what they desire. And it's like, you're not guaranteed anything. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen to show you guys this. But what do you guys think so far? So I'm showing you guys this TikTok, and then I'm gonna show you guys something else that kind of, I don't know if it annoyed me, but it made me think about this topic. On. Everything made me think about this topic because men are not choosing wives. They are choosing women who make it very clear they're not about that life, which is technically the majority of women. Majority of women are not about the traditional lifestyle. There are not a lot of women out here that want to be traditional wives, and these men swear they're by the dozen, and they're not. Matter of fact, if they were by the dozen, they wouldn't even be on YouTube complaining. They wouldn't even be on the manosphere and the red pill complaining. They really wouldn't. Okay, can you guys see this? Can you guys see this? Okay, let me play this TikTok, and this is a pickup artist guy, some little dweeb, and he's telling men what to do, what not to do with these girls. You know, really just objectifying women, right? Men that don't choose wives, they choose objects instead, right? That's just what they do. Okay, so let me play this for you guys. Hopefully it starts from the beginning, but I'll let it replay at least one time so that you guys can hear it completely.
Really. And I don't do that because by the time a chick's been to 30, she's had a whole bunch of dudes. Her heart's been broken a bunch of times. She's had all those one-night stands. Like, no matter how nice a person she is, she has a whole bunch of baggage with her, and she's like rocking up. Hi, do you want to be guy number 62? No, I don't. Because if you get a young one, there ain't that many dudes who've been there before, right? That's just the nature of the game. If you're 30 and single, you've been through a few meters of. I don't date women above 24 or 25, really. And I don't do that because by the time a chick's been to 30, she's had a whole bunch of dudes. Her heart's been broken a bunch of times. She's had all those one-night stands. Like, no matter how nice a person she is, she has a whole bunch of baggage with her, and she's like rocking up. Hi, do you want to be guy number 62? No, I don't. Because if you get a young one, there ain't that many dudes who've been there before, right? That's just the nature of the game. If you're 30 and single, you've been through a few meters of.
So this ding dong, did you guys hear what he just said? Are you guys hearing what he's saying? That women are completely ran through by 30, and the younger, basically the younger, the more impressionable she is, so that he can imprint on her. And he's not talking anything about marriage. Like, some of these guys, they're not even looking for a wife. That's number one. That's probably another part of the title I should have, another part of this thing I should have been included in the title, is they're not even looking for a wife, right? They want to live this pickup artistry lifestyle and then complain about 5 to 8, 10 years later about how there's no more wives left. This is the hypocrisy of modern men. They want to run through all of the girls when they're young and fresh, and then in 10 years be like, oh, all the girls are used up, dude. They're all ran through. And it's just like, no, duh, ding-a-ling. You men banded together and swore that you was going to have this free-for-all in every young girl that came on the scene. You're used up, you're drained, you're whored out. You're whored out. I should have titled this video, Men Want to Be Whored Out Instead of Being Husbands, because this is what all of this is about. This is what all of this is about. Yes, I noticed that he was on Fresh and Fit. He has all kinds of dweebish advice for men that clearly were hurt in high school. And I like how this lady said down here, he wants someone he can control. Just say that. Yeah, he does. That's the only reason why. I was going to make a video about this quote unquote wall. Ladies, there's no such thing as the damn wall. Majority of women that marry at the age of like 31. The average age for women here in the US across all ages, whether you're a single mother or not, is like 29 to 32. And for men, I think it's 33 to 35. It's actually going up compared to like 50 years ago. It's going up. Women are getting married later in life. And we have this whole health, vegan, fitness trend going on, right? A lot of women are being fit and beautiful. Like, how many TikToks do we see of women who are like, guess my age? And she looks freaking like she's 21, but she's like 39. And I'm just like, what the hell? These women are like superheroes at over 30. Like, there's no such thing as the wall. There's no such thing as the wall. Men are not 39 out here marrying 21-year-old virgins. They're not. Majority of men don't even want to wait uh for a woman. These men are into, I don't want to say this in a judgmental way, but these men are into Jezebels and whores. They are choosing whores over wives, and they are even trying to make good girls into whores as well by manipulating them into sleeping with them, right? This is a very real thing. I know a lot of women don't like to admit it, but a lot of us have a time where we were manipulated into doing something we really didn't want to do by some smooth talking idiot. By some smooth talking idiot. Idiots like him. And I feel sorry for really, really young girls who aren't even exposed to this kind of content. They're not into any woman empowerment spaces. They're like living their life, and they come across this dingaling in real life, and he's talking his trash. Even some guy here was trying to stick up for the ladies. He said, I love your opinion, but I will love you more if you change it because it's a disrespect to our queens. And he's going to respond, LOL. Are you kidding me? One girl said, clearly he's never getting married. He will be 50 with a 25-year-old because real men are already married at your age. And she's absolutely right. And he's laughing marriage. He is laughing because he's a joke. So, like, and then guys are, oh, he said date, not marry. What do men gain out of marriage, in your opinion? Guys, he might as well have just asked, what do women bring to the table? I made a video on the table. And I basically said in that video, if a man ever asks you that question, he does not respect you. He actually doesn't value women at all. He sees them as objects. He is severely disconnected from his emotions. Because remember, men are not emotional beings the way women are. Men have emotions, but it's not the same like women. Men experience a heartbreak and they go through that crap for like 10 years. Women go through a heartbreak. We need just a few weeks of crying, a few months, and then all of a sudden we got a haircut and we have a new job and we've changed our wardrobe. Like, after breakups, I'm seeing a lot of women today leveling up. When men go through breakups, they become straight savage for like ever. Literally forever. It's going to be interesting to see where men like this end up in the next decade or so, alone, more bitter and unhappy. Yeah, it is going to be interesting. They're actually going to be alone and bitter. I don't know if you guys watched a live today, but there was a live by another BWE content creator, and she had nurses call in to talk about what happens to these lonely, bitter pickup artistry men when they get old. And all of the nurses said that they just die alone in the homes. They are bitter, they are mean, and they have no family. Some got a lot of kids, and the kids don't come to see them, right? And this is just the reality. This is just the reality. And a lot of these men don't understand is you cannot live a life of full on anarchy and expect to be loved like you're that guy, right? That's not possible. You will reap what you sow in this life, ladies. You know, this is a Christian based channel. Yeah, on code, it was Cerebral. I love her channel. But you know, my channel is Christian based, and the Bible even talks about reaping what you sow. Karma is real. It is real, and these men are all going to suffer from it if they keep following losers like this, who are literally pointing them to choose Jezebelic woman. I don't even know if that's a real word. I just used it. Over women who are wives, over women who prefer to take who prefers to take her time establishing any form of a relationship. She has her head on straight, she has goals. Those women are wifey material. Women that are meant to be wives are not out here waiting for a man to come and save her. She has a life. She has things she enjoys doing. That's who wives are. And they want to make a wife seem like it's this 1950 Betty Crocker woman, but it's more than just like an image, it's a mentality. It's a mentality, especially in today's time. The 50s are over. It's never going to be the 50s again. The economy capitalizes off of women making money. So it's never going back. That's over. It would have to be we would have to like be in such a rut in the Western world for a very long time for women to stop working and men just all of it. Like it would take time for men to catch up to all those lost jobs from women. Right. In another live, I talked about the great resignation that's happening with women, and men in the manosphere were claiming that it's because women are going home to their husbands or trying to have a boyfriend or something, especially men in the black manosphere. Actually, it was them that were saying that other women, non-black women, are leaving their jobs to be with their husbands, and black women are the only idiots still staying in the workforce. Like, are you serious? So I looked it up, actually researched the great resignation, and it had nothing to do with women getting married and becoming Betty Crockers and wanting to leave the workforce. It more so had to do with women leaving their jobs to start their own businesses, right? This is going to be the new wave of modern women who still want to be traditional. Maybe you can't find or you don't end up with that millionaire man, right? But you still want to stay home. Women being entrepreneurs is going to go up because they're going to want to have a family and not work in an office all doggone day, but they know that they probably still need some source of income, so they're going to start their own businesses. They're going to be their own boss. They're not going to resign and depend on their husband for every single thing and then spend all this time competing for some arrogant idiot who makes all this money. No woman's going to compete. Look, competing in 2022 for women is not possible. It's not possible anymore. You don't have to do that. All right? You can be the man in your life in terms of like income is what I'm saying. You can actually make that six figures yourself as a woman now. So there is no point in competing for a man who makes exactly that much as well. I don't believe in competing in general, but what I do believe is the real high value men, the real special men are the men with good character, are the men with morals, the men who are honest, the men who can communicate properly, the men who are emotionally available and think pickup artistry is pointless and stupid. Any man that's willing to waste his time on multiple women does not value his own time. If he doesn't value his own time, he doesn't value his resources, therefore he does not value himself and he will not value you. And it just is what it is. Women are going to find a way to do what makes them feel happy. I mean, that's kind of just how womanhood has evolved over the past few centuries, especially the last few decades with technology on the rise. Women have utilized it to their advantage, and the men are getting on here mad, really 100% clueless, to the point where they have to give men advice on how to do things that men have been doing since the beginning of time, which is having sex with women and how to do it. These men aren't saying anything special at all. These men are choosing Jezebelic women over wives because they've given up, because they're lost, they're confused, and they're scared. They're low-key also pretty weak. They're pretty weak. Like every time I see a pickup artist type of guy, I just think, wow, you are really dumb. You are dumb for real. like that video, viral video. Like that plays in my head every time. This girl said, "Oh, what he actually wants to be is a dad." I absolutely agree. Men like this want to be a father. They want to be a father figure in a woman's life. That's why they want to have a young woman. They really want a woman who is destitute, which is why they're talking about going to different countries. And how horrible is that to know that as a person, in order for you to have a lasting relationship, you believe you need to get a person off of the streets in another country just to make sure your relationship will last, or not even make sure, because that's not a guarantee, just for you to believe and gain some form of confidence within yourself that you can have a relationship. You have to get a woman that's completely out of the country, and then when you go over there, especially as a man, you have to deal with the fact that other men are now looking at you. And let's really talk about this for the black men, because I know there's black women here. And we've seen this the most with our own men in our community, talking about going to other countries, trying to find a wife off of the poor streets of Brazil to bring back. And guess what? There's men in those other countries. There's other men in those countries with their own laws, with their own weapons for protection for their women and children. They're not going to allow a bunch of incel, socially awkward, weird, computer gangsta black men go into their countries and take their women. That is not happening at all. These men do not know how to look for wives, and it's not even about looking for a wife. They don't know how to connect with women, period. They don't even want to hear from women. Women try to go up on their channels and try to speak about what they want. They completely reject it, and instead they assert their own beliefs into it. They don't want to learn about women at all. And you know why? It's because they see you as an object. They see you as something that can be disposed of and or replaced at any time. They don't want women who are strong and together. And guys, the men in these comments are, all types of men. These are men of all colors. This is about all of them. This is about all of them. This is about men who are living in a time where they have the most access to women than ever before in history of man, thanks to technology. And they are only looking at the same type of woman. And they are coming online to complain about all women when that same exact woman don't want them. They keep choosing Jezebel spirited women that don't want to be a wife. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't care to be married, if you don't care to have a family or a long-term relationship, that's fine. But it's a problem when men try to approach those women and try to implement their ideas and what they want onto those women, when there actually are women who are traditional and do want to be married. But those women are being told to what? Lower their standards. Give it up on the third date, or you owe him a coochie coupon, I heard over there. Right? Like all these crazy, stupid things. And ladies, what you need to understand, if a man is not willing to pay the price to have you, whatever that is, time spent together, whatever your quote unquote price is to have you, he does not deserve you. It is in no man's right to tell you what your standard should be. Right? Because I was in that clubhouse room and the women were telling the ladies, you need to set your standard and your boundaries. And there were men in their DMs yelling at them, you're leading these women down the wrong path. They're all going to end up single. And it's just like, are you kidding me? These men are really out here so angry and upset that women have standards, y'all. And it's not even like crazy standards. It ain't, I mean, come on. Like, I mean, come on. Like the most that women can do for a standard to really make sure a man does what he's supposed to do is what? Like wait until marriage. That's like the peak of like standards, right? Or like certain dates, going out of town together, things that are just like, I wouldn't say basic, but we've all heard of them before. Like it ain't nothing new out here that us women are doing. We're all setting the same type of standards, just in different ways, in different different languages, different ways, different area codes, but it's all kind of in the same realm of standardism, right? And these men have a problem with it. Like they want the bar to be below the lowest of the low. That's what they want. And they want to sleep with you so bad, man. Like they are so obsessed. They are so obsessed with what's going on in between their legs. I I can't even imagine what it's like to be a man with that type of control. Just to have this thing in between my legs control me so much to the point where I'm talking about human beings like objects for what's in between my legs and nothing else. There was a guy I started dating a while ago. Not dating him no more. Cause you guys, if you guys have been watching me, I'm in a relationship now with my Russian man. Right. But before him, I was dating some guy. And he actually was taking me out on dates. He was courting me and it was nice. But then after like the fourth date, he was already talking about me. And one thing about me, guys, is I hate house dates. I'm not a dating coach and I'm never going to charge y'all for some kind of advice. I'm not a coach at all. But my personal opinion is to avoid house dates as long as you can. Seriously, as much as you can, as long as you can. Just I would make a man put in effort to seeing you. I don't even like to FaceTime guys that I'm courting, getting to know. This is in the getting to know stages. You need to make an effort to come and see me. You need to make an effort to come talk to me because men only value what they have to put a lot of effort into. They're not going to value anything long term that came very, very easy. Now, there are instances, when things last, there are those instances. But from what I've heard and what I've seen around, those instances and those exceptions don't really make the rule. They don't really make the rule. And he wanted me to come over his house after like the fourth date, and I was just not having it. And the thing is, he didn't ask me blatantly to come over, but I just know that's what he wanted because he wanted me to go over his apartment complex to be by his fire pit. And I live in California, so I live by the beach. And if you live in California, if you've ever been, there's fire pits all over the place. Just grab one, and then you're right by the water. It's super nice. So I'm in my head thinking, why would I go to a fire pit at your house? I have to make an effort to go to your place. You get to not make any form of an effort. You just walk outside of this fire pit. And that's what you will consider a date. When we both can make an effort to see each other and go to a real fire pit by the beach where it's really nice, we're outside. What apartment complex or beach? Apartment complex or beach? It's just like why would I choose to be at your house when I can be outside? As a fourth date? Fourth date? Are you serious? Like these men don't want to make effort to date at all. They just want to sleep with you. And they're going to really try to dress it up the best that they can to get on in there, but you've just got to recognize the signs. And this is why, ladies, if you are looking for a relationship and you haven't been dating and you're on the fence or you don't know when you're going to start, I suggest you date, as in talk to men. I don't mean sleep with a bunch of guys, but talk to them and all of that, so you can get used to signs and what things mean, so that you're not so you're caught on, you can catch on quick later on. But these men don't really want to date. They don't really want to court. They're very impatient. They want to just sleep with you. That's why there are pickup artists. The point of a pickup artist is to sleep with you with the least amount of effort in the quickest amount of time as possible. For whatever reason, men, I know men getting with a new woman is like amazing for them. So I've heard. But that feeling of just always all up in a new woman all of the time, it must be some kind of drug because they just They need to be taught how to pick up as many women as possible, new women all of the time. And a man is looking for a Jezebel type of woman when he is impatient. When he is impatient, good men have patience in everything that they do. So it's not going to be any different when they start dating you. Of course, he's going to want to be affectionate and share that type of intimacy with you. He's a man, but he's not going to like diminish you down just to that. Like, I mean, he's going to have a little more sense. Like he's definitely going to be anticipating that moment, but he is going to have some genuine interest in you because he's going to be looking for a wife. He is on the hunt for a wife, and he's going to be mature enough and emotionally there to understand that it's going to take more than what's between your legs for him to actually propose and commit his life to you, his finances to you, like having trusting you to raise the babies while he's at work, if that's the type of lifestyle you want. Like there's a lot that goes into it a man has to think about. And so for these guys to just come on here and diminish womanhood to sex is just, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And the way they talk about younger women, y'all, like I know I have a lot of young women that watch me, and I don't know what your guys' preferences are. Maybe you ladies want to date older men, and that's perfectly fine. All I'm saying is, according to research, majority of young women in this country in general, no matter their color, do not want to be with old men. They don't. Because getting with an old man means you'll probably be his nurse at some point in the future. Some points at some point soon compared to you getting with a guy your own age, right? And to be fair though, usually, women kind of tend to end up being nurses to our men regardless of the age, but especially so if he's much older than you. That time of being a nurse and taking care of your man is going to come sooner. However, if you really love your man and he really has loved you and you guys have spent an amazing life together, nursing each other really isn't going to be isn't going to be a painful thing because it's going to be done out of love, as it should be. But these younger men, I mean, these older men are looking at younger women not through those lens, not through the lens of love. They're looking at the lens of your beauty, your vanity, the fact that you're young, trophy wife type of thing. They're not looking at you through genuine love. But if you ladies have a preference for dating men that are much older, I mean, I'm talking like you're 21 and you're trying to date a guy who's like 45. Like I'm talking serious age gap. I personally date men between the ages of about 3 to 8 years older than me. 8 years is, no matter what age I'm at, 3 to 8 is good. Maybe if I'm still single and I'm a little bit older, then I'll probably go up to 10 years. But for now, I'm still under 30, so for now it's just up to 8 years older than me. That's me. But I know you a lot of you ladies have told me you date older men, and that's fine. But that is something to think about though, with that age gap. And just in general, those those relationships aren't even real. Even as a hookup type of thing, majority of younger women that do have a hookup aren't doing it with 45-year-old guys. They're not. They're doing it with men their own age. They're 21 in college doing it with the frat boy. Like they're not doing it with a 45-year-old man. So I don't know why these men are on here talking like this. I have no clue. It's like they're so checked out. They're so into this space online that they are literally checked out of reality. They really are. This guy said, it's 2022. These young girls are ruthless. You better off getting a granny. And he's saying this because they're making it seem like young girls are all like, super virgins and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of different kinds of women everywhere. I have girlfriends who stayed a virgin until she married at like 29. And she was very religious though. So she, I have friends that are virgins, but for religious reasons. But and then I got friends that, hey, they're very proud of their past. Like they have no shame in their game. And this guy is keeping it real. He's like, being young and being old doesn't guarantee anything, right? You can get a person who has a crazy past if they're young, and you can get a person who has a crazy past if they're old, or a person who's old who doesn't have a crazy past. Like I just said, my girlfriend is a virgin at 29. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These guys are so disconnected. They're associating all these traits with women's ages and their careers, and literally none of that matters. And there's even more research to debunk everything that they're saying. I know a lot of you ladies are probably just coming in, so like the video, but I'm going to play this one more time in case you guys are in and you missed it.
There ain't that many dudes who've been there before, right? That's just the nature of the game. If you're 30 and single, you've been through a few meters of. I don't date women above 24 or 25, really. And I don't do that because by the time a chick's been to 30, she's had a whole bunch of dudes. Her heart's been broken a bunch of times. She's had all those one night stands. Like, no matter how nice a person she is, she has a whole bunch of baggage with her. And she's like rocking up. Hi, do you want to be guy number 62? No, I don't. Whereas if you get a young one, there ain't that many dudes who've been there before, right? That's just the nature of the game. If you're 30 and single, you've been through a few meters of. I don't date.
So this guy is just really, he's an idiot. He's seriously an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about at all. He's making all women seem so black and white, like we're all just a monolith with the same experiences if we're 21, and same experiences if we're 30. There's no such thing as the wall. Majority of women nowadays are getting married over the age of 30. Single mothers are getting married. Look, as long as you're a woman who's tuned into yourself, healthy, healed, in your feminine energy, you're working out, you're taking care of your body, you're not gonna have a problem getting a man at any doggone age. Like these men are insane when it comes to this age stuff. It really be annoying me, because like and I don't. I mean, I have a man, but these guys are really insane with this age stuff because they really put women in a box due to their age, and it doesn't make any sense. And that all ties into it. Wives, wives are women who have their head on straight, like I said. It's a mentality, but it's not a Betty Crocker 1950s mentality. It's not. It's the mentality that you are a woman who can have long-term relationship. You have good relationship skills. You have good communication skills. You're organized, you're disciplined, you're consistent with yourself, with your life. You have goals, you have a plan, you have hobbies, you have things you love, you have experiences, you're wise, right? You know how to do things. Like those are the things that make a wife, and men consider those things I've heard in this space, they have considered those things in women to be annoying. They've considered those things to be annoying. I heard a man in this space say that feminine women don't correct. He said that. What do you mean feminine women don't correct? So you want to have a whole wife and she just never can tell you when you might have missed something, where you might have overlooked something in an area, or just flat out tell you you're never wrong? Like these men want to be treated like gods. They want to be God. They don't want to be corrected. They don't want you to have a past. They don't want you to go out with your girls. I saw another guy and he was like, Bellish, if she goes out with the girls' night, she, don't let your woman go out for a girls' weekend or a girls' night. What? Like these men really don't want you to do anything. And the men even said, yeah, this is controlling, but it's your boundaries. You got to make her stick to it. It's like, what? I mean, okay, when you're married, obviously you're not going to be out here doing the absolute most. You can't be married, man or woman, and still act single. Of course, there's going to be some, you're married, that's your forever person that you vowed your life to. So, you're going to be with them way before you're going to just venture off with someone else. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I don't plan to have a bunch of girls' nights. I barely do now. I we my girlfriend's I don't know. I don't know. It's like they just say all these do's and don'ts. But these are the same guys that are single. Every single guy that has gave out these rules and regulations also don't have a woman. So it's like I can't even take any of it seriously because they're not even living the lifestyle that they say they want. They're not. They're not in relationships. They're not long term with anybody. I'm like there's so many women here in the BW space that give you ladies advice and they're actually living that life. Like there's real divested women living that life. Like I mean, come on. So that's why I don't understand men going into spaces listening to other men that have been divorced twice, that are on child support. You can't even confirm if they live this pickup artist lifestyle because it ain't like they're bringing every single girl on camera or something. They could just be a complete flop talking crap in the camera, not even, and hadn't pulled a girl in weeks. This person said, very inaccurate and judgmental. Perhaps your lifestyle would entertain this. As he said, that's the nature of the game. Like a lot of people, a few people are not agreeing with him and some are. Like these men are delusional. I can't believe men actually listen to this BS and expect to be full on husbands someday. They want to be whores while they do their hard work and then graduate in some way by making six figures and then want to be a husband and a wife after being a full blown whore and then having the audacity to talk about it online for the whole world to see, leaving it in the comment sections and all that. Imagine marrying a man and then he claims to have given this all up and you stumble across a YouTube channel and he's on the panel talking this crap. Like, can you imagine? Or you see him in the comment section completely degrading women, and the comment is from like 5 years ago. And he's like, oh, I changed a new leaf. Like, I could not. I could not. I don't even know what I would do. I would be like, what the hell? So you were a whore? And you were happy about it? This woman said she will also leave you since she doesn't know her standards yet. Also, you have had a lot of women, more than 62. So you are saying rules are different for you. She has a good point. Not from, this isn't what I think, but what research says is that younger women do end up leaving marriages to significantly older men after a while. They do. The couples who stay married the longest and stay together the longest are people who are where they want to be financially and career wise, and they are within the same age group, about 3 to 5 years or so. Those people are staying together the longest and they're both college educated. Women that have degrees in general are the least likely to divorce, and they are the most likely to be married compared to a woman who does not have a college degree. That is in the data. So these men talking about stay away if she's a PhD, if she's a psychologist, and according to the research, those are the very women that do the best in relationships long term. It's so weird. It's like these guys want these young men to fail. Okay, one guy said, I'm a guy and this is a sick mentality. We all got baggages. It doesn't seem like he's getting a lot of confirmation here, but this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Pickup artists like this guy, and he was on the Fake and Fraud um podcast.
If you're not, go down go down to him right now and demand to swap phones with him for a week. And he's going to make every excuse under the sun because of work. Because of work. And you're going to end up buying his bullshit excuse because you know that if you have his phone for a week, you're going to see the other bitch he's fucking. You know it. Every single female on earth with a boyfriend is already tolerant of the fact that they know their man's doing everything. Because if you're not, go down to him right now and demand to swap phones with him for a week. And he's going to make every excuse under the sun because of work. Because of work. And you're going to end up buying.
It's just disgusting because he literally gives men advice on how to not be in relationships, basically. Like, nothing these men say will lead them to a long-term relationship. Like, it's weird. It's weird how men have become so logical that they are trying to make sense of relationships, and relationships are not something you can just conjure up in a formula. They take work and consistency. There's ups and downs, there's unexpectancies, and these men just they're telling other men that that stuff is not normal and it needs to go your way, perfectly planned out, or the highway. And that's not even how a relationship works. And that's how you can tell these men are not very relationship oriented. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm going to show you guys a second video, but what do you guys think? These men are choosing to be whores than to be husbands, and they are making other good girls whores. They are addicted to ejaculating. Guys, this is really what I believe. I know it may sound like, but I believe this. Because why else are they not getting married? How can you have a group of men that has the most access to women in human history and are the least married? They are the least married with the most access in history to women. They are the least married because they want to have lots of sex and ejaculate onto everybody, onto any girl. That's exactly what these fake and frauds and this guy here are telling men to do. They're just telling them to ejaculate every chance you can. That's it. That's all. That's it. This is why they're single. This is why they're crying online later. Because like I have said before in other lives, men are not emotional. And they do not go to each other for emotional support. They need a woman for that intimate emotional support. And when they are just out here sleeping with women with no emotional connection, it wears on them. It does. But then that's part of the cycle. That's part of the game. They want to keep on going from woman to woman to avoid those feelings. And continue on. Just continue never feeling anything. And they do that by getting with Jezebelic women and ejaculating and then focusing on when they can do it again. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Yes, Art of Aries. Everything revolves around sex. For the most emotionally disconnected guys, everything revolves around sex, especially amongst men in Blackistan. And I'm going to show you guys a video right now. So you guys know about, obviously, the manosphere and red pill and black manosphere, right? Well, there is a such thing. There is a such thing as Pookiesville. Pookiesville. And in not Pookiesville, Pookiesphere. And in Pookiesphere, they actually dislike Kevin Samuels. And that is what I found most interesting. They dislike Kevin Samuels. They dislike that men are telling them to get better, to have better women. They don't like that. But this is another instance of them. I'm gonna play it. It's a YouTube. You guys have probably, I don't know if you guys have heard of this particular person on YouTube, but um yeah, they don't like any of that stuff. The men in the Pookie sphere. They're against all the things that are told in the high value man sphere, Kevin Samuels and the typical non-black men sphere. It's like they've separated themselves. And they think Kevin Samuels and everyone else is corny and lame. So it's just so funny listening to them. Because they brought up a part of their conversation. This is a live that I'm gonna play. We're definitely not watching the whole thing. It's just like a minute, a few seconds. Okay. Can you guys hear? Whoops. So let me show this to you guys. And this, I just came across this video, and I thought it was interesting.
About that, we was talking about the
girl
getting
you trying to
engaged
marry.
in the week.
And he's an 8-figure attorney, right? Imagine in 6 months, she's like, Dennis, I'm not happy. Oh, she done got half the empire, or she's entitled to some of it, bro. You wouldn't have signed the document saying y'all are married and shit. Damn, bro.
I want to call time out. I'm sorry. Somebody 8-figure that can't get a bitch. I'm sorry. Time out.
Yeah.
Back
Oh my God.
back it up 10 yards. Hold on.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that there is a bit of cursing, so just keep that in mind.
Hood bitch, nigga.
Bro, he should be able to get hoes that are like Instagram famous.
I'm sorry. Somebody 8-figure that can't get a bitch. I'm sorry. Time out.
Yeah.
Back
Oh my God.
back it up 10 yards. Hold on. Somebody that's 8-figure that don't know how to get a bitch.
This nigga trying to qualify himself to a fucking
a
strad. Nigga. I'm in the top one for talking to a literal fucking hood bitch.
So just a little context, they're talking about another manosphere creator who's also an attorney, and they're making fun of him right now over the fact that he is always on YouTube and in the manosphere complaining about women and how he can't get this and that, complaining about women who are sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray. And keep in mind, this is the Pookie sphere. So they are basically talking crap about other educated lame guys who talk about sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray. Like, these men here are the Pookie and Ray Ray.
Bro, he should be able to get hoes that are like Instagram famous. You have money that most niggas don't have, and in his words, I'm 8 figures, dog. You have to get a hoe out of
in
Facebook.
his words. Somebody said he's not, but we don't. I
Not only
ain't
that.
we just talking about the play. That's some weak ass shit. But let me.
How many?
Damn, dog.
Let me.
How many? My bad.
Shout out to Harry. Said, "What the fuck? There are 2 million more women than men. So what are we talking about? There's so many women to get at. Need to get money. Fuck out of here. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Smurgo.
No, I was gonna say, now many like women are in the law field too. You don't have to even go to Instagram. She have plenty of colleagues and peers that are good looking, like lawyers and attorneys and DAs and all that shit.
I ain't finna harp on this nigga, but like I said, nigga met some bitch on Facebook and get engaged in the fucking.
Hey,
that's
why are all these successful intellectual niggas trying to fuck with strags though? Like,
so he just asked, why are all these intellectual ends trying to mess with strags? So in his mind, I'm guessing this is low value girls, and he's questioning this because these men are professional men. They're attorneys. They're supposed to have a network of other amazing women. And that's what these men don't understand. Like, why aren't y'all getting with women that are your equals? And like I said before, ladies, research has said that women who actually are accomplished and have a lot more degrees, especially like a PhD, those ladies they have lasted longer in relationships and marriages. They're not the ones divorcing majority of the time when women file for divorce. But yet these high value men, they're what? It seems to me, from what these pookies are saying, is that these high value men are looking for Jezebels. They're not looking for wives. Remember, Jezebelic women, they tend to not last in these relationships. They tend to go for get the bag type of stuff. I mean, the type of woman that these men are saying they want, which is a wife, these pookies out here is confused. You trying to check for the low strag woman, and those women aren't the wives. Like even these dingalings can tell you, right? And but this is what they preach all the time in that high value manosphere part, in the professional men part. So, they chasing
like that's what I never understood. Why y'all trying to fuck
Drags
pookie
are winning,
bitches?
nigga. Hoes are winning. That's why.
Yo,
Hey, they're gonna get mad.
man.
All these high value men want low value bitches.
'Cause that's the hoes are fun, bro. They want the hoes. They
I
don't
want
want
to
that.
give I want to give a huge shout out to the founding stepfathers of the manosphere. You niggas
Oh,
putting
y'all
in
need-
work, man.
Yeah,
And here's another thing, man. I'm with Ramil. Hey, Ramil's gonna agree with this, bro. Look. Women are the originators of pump and dump, man. These
Bruh,
bitches is the one that's
they don't know
moving
that.
and shaking.
All right, I didn't even really listen to the rest after that, so I don't even know what they're going to say after that. But even these guys are making it a point that the men who are the most high value are choosing the most low value Jezebel type of woman. It's not just us women that are thinking this. You got other men out here who definitely, the way they're talking, in my personal opinion, I would not consider these men husbands. In my opinion, if you ladies are watching and one of you find them, yeah, that's fine. But for me, it's a no for me. Men I consider husband, don't, nah, I don't know. It's just a no for me. But even they are noticing that the men who have these weird expectations, these high value guys, you have the pickup artist guys who are the forever bachelors, and then you have the guys that actually want to have a wife. And they're not choosing women who are wives. They're not choosing women who actually are on their level, which according to data are the type of couples that are lasting the longest in a marriage. When you also meet a man who's educated, when you also meet a man who's making as much money as you or more than you, especially that. Right? Women who are with men who make more money, they are also the least likely to divorce. But even if you can't find one that makes more money than you, if he makes around the same level and you guys still decide to be together, there's still a chance that you guys will last. You guys are still up there in the ranks of lasting. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. But even these guys are calling it out because it looks stupid. These high value men, these men with options, are choosing low quality, low value, Jezebelic type of woman. Now, remember, ladies, this is the Pookie sphere. And everyone loves to talk about the Pookie and the Ray Ray. So they are on here. They are on here discussing this. Even these guys are noticing that there's an issue. They are noticing that these guys have issues with choosing women. I mean, it's crazy out here. These men, no matter how much they make, their mentality is all the same. And then you heard what they were about to say. They were about to say something along the lines of women were the creators of pump and dump, right? The high value guys think the same thing. They all think the same. These types of guys. Pookies in suits and pookies in t-shirts. Pookies in suits and pookies in sweats. They all the same. Same mentality. I mean, for real. Right? Other men are even noticing this. This is not something that's being noticed by just women. These men have very unrealistic expectations. They are all, no matter what level of life they get to, of income, of career, they are all choosing the same girl. And them choosing the same girl is why they are not getting the results that they say they want, right? And then they get on here and complain about it. They get on here and complain about it. I don't know what they're gonna.
And so I don't understand why,
Right.
you
These
know,
old niggas don't know
so-called
the
cookies
half,
and Ray
though.
Rays is getting shot down and getting judged and shamed, blamed, and explained about doing the same thing that these bitches is doing. But these bitches
hoes-
ain't shit, bro.
Cause
I'm
these
telling
hoes
you.
That,
fuck
but
with
let me get you. I think a faceless facts didn't get faceless facts. Did you get to go already?
Nah, not yet. I was letting everybody get off what they need to get off.
Let Quan finish your statement. Then we're gonna go to faceless.
Well, yeah. I'm about to drop down. I just wanted to touch on them points, though. Cause you feel me? All right, though.
Yeah. Salute,
All
man.
right,
I appreciate you coming through. Let me go ahead. Faceless. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, like you gotta realize, like these niggas is hustling. Like these niggas don't really believe what they're saying. What it is, you know, Kevin Samuels was able to make money. So you got a few handful of guys that are trying to run through the door behind him, and what they're doing is they're basically providing cover for this dude because he has a lot of stolen talking points. It doesn't work. Ultimately, what it is.
Hold on. So you're saying that these niggas? So you saying that? Hold on. So you're saying that they don't believe what they're saying? Is that what you're saying? So
yeah, absolutely not. Like they hustling. Just like Derrick Jackson. Derrick Jackson he just wasn't practicing. He was preaching. He was just trying to make money. You got to realize most dudes are not like you or like me or like us. Like even with this guy Dennis Sperling, like he dealt with the family courts and he got his kids snatched away. Like he already knows how it is. What happens to a lot of these dudes is once they start getting a little bit more money and they get these systems off their back, they have a short memory and they forget real quick. So now they think they're gonna navigate the system differently because they have money, and that's not how it works. And then as far as all these other dudes that are not getting picked, that are not getting married, like a lot of these dudes want to get divorced. A lot of these dudes are jealous when they see these dudes that are getting married and they're getting divorced and they ended up on child support. Dudes feel like, yo, at least you got a chance. There are a lot of dudes that think like that. Like I know it's scary to think about it that way, but you got a lot of these dudes that have been raised by single mothers for 60, 70 years. Like that ideology is embedded in our culture. And as far as dudes going overseas, a lot of these chicks, when they go to these foreign countries, they got whole families. Like they selling that to you. That's an economic strategy. That's how they bring tourism into their country. Like they're selling you and they're selling these dudes an experience. Like that, a lot of these dudes think that's their girl over there. No, they got whole families. That's why you hear about dudes getting killed when they go over there, because you get a little too comfortable and the dudes don't like you being.
Who? He just said men that are going overseas are getting killed. They getting taken out by the men over there. This guy is actually saying quite a lot. The men over here believe that Kevin Samuels and all these high value guys, I guess the other guy they was talking about, Dennis Sperling, who's another attorney that's popular in the manosphere, that they're jealous of the Pookie and Ray Ray because the Pookie and Ray Ray can pull women and can pull the Jezebel chicks or whatever that they want, and that they've made it to the top and that they deserve the hot young looking girls. And both groups of men choose wrong. Both groups of men do not choose women that are ready for something long term, at least not with them the way they want it, the way they say they may want it, especially the men who make it to the top, right? This man even admitted it's embedded in their culture, in the black male pathology. This is a thing they do, suits or not, choosing wrong. I don't know if he said that exactly, but that's really what he should be saying. Choosing wrong is embedded in the black male culture. It is. If it was choosing right, they wouldn't be on here talking all this crap, having all these issues with women who are literally just living their life. Literally.
Up under his wife, you in a foreign country, isolated from your people and your network, and they get tired of that and they get rid of you. Like you supposed to come pay your visit, pay all your money, and then go about your business. You're not supposed to
I
be
ain't gonna lie,
doing
yo. I
that.
want to smoke for that. We gotta stop listening to
Oh,
99.9% of the
So
old
you,
niggas.
hold on, we got to. So you
These
saying when
niggas
they
don't even
go?
have a Snapchat, bro. These niggas don't know nothing about how these young hoes is out here moving, bro. These niggas still live in 1960s. These niggas want a Dorothy Dandridge ass bitch. That bitch gone, bro. Let's get with the
Dorothy
times, bro. These
Dandridge,
bitches out
man.
here like Young Miami,
The Sound of
Megan
Music.
Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Get with the times, bro. Even a bitch, even if she got a degree, bro, she still move like that on the low, bro. Come on, let's get with the times.
All right. I can't listen to too much. But you know what? I can't even look. The guys over here are noticing the BS in these older men. They both don't choose right. This is a pathology. I think the only difference is that the Pookies and Ray Rays are real about it. They already know who they are and they don't try to be anything else. These high value guys with all this money are trying to cover it up with their money, with their accomplishments, and with their degrees. And then talk crap about other women who have those same degrees, right? Our first woman said, but thank goodness they are not choosing them. They will destroy any person they get with. I mean, to be honest, yes. Thank God they're not choosing them. Because accomplished women deserve good partners. And if they all just think like this, no. No. Because we don't hear conversations like this happening with those accomplished women. Like they're not sitting around talking like this. They're not talking about living life how they did when they were 17-year-olds, no matter how wild or not so wild it was. Now, as grown adult women with PhDs, they're not. Like, there is a graduation when it comes to your mentality that happens. But apparently, Black male pathology, that graduation, it's not happening because they're all the same in the suits. They even get jealous of each other. They're talking about how the men in suits are jealous of the real Pookies and the Ray Rays. I mean, you can't you can't get any more seriously delirious than this. But I'm gonna drop the link. I don't know if anybody wants to come up. Anybody wants to come up? But the men are out here, no matter what their income is, they are out here looking for Jezebels and trying to turn them into Betty Crockers. And that's just the truth. That is just the truth.
Right? So I assimilate to the environment, nigga. Like Pokemon, nigga. I evolve, nigga. I evolve to the circumstances. That housewife shit is gone, bro.
That's right.
Yep, that's a dub. That shit a dub, man. Shout out to Reggie, man, with the dub. Man, I do appreciate you, man. Salute to you. Shout out to Triple T Kill. What's going on, man? With the T, I do appreciate you as well.
The funny thing is the housewife stuff is not gone. It's not gone. Women that want to be housewives are not talking to men that look like this, that talk like this, that carry themselves like this. They are not. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. Like these men want to get on here and complain about the same girl. The woman that they are actually talking about just don't want them. Yes, these males, these males, they're getting on here and complaining about the same type of woman, and they're complaining about a woman that they can't even have. There are lots of young women that want to be housewives. I have girlfriends under the age of 30 who are married and are legitimate homemakers. Their husbands pay the bills. But one thing their husbands are not are these dinglings here on the internet. complaining. I don't know what these men expect. These men expect a Betty Crocker talking completely out of their butt. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No woman who is really going to be a man's housewife is going to do it with a man that talks like this and acts like this and has this type of pathology.
All right, I got you, Trill. I'm gonna bring you up. You turn it off. But yeah, you're right, man. That's what they don't like. Moving the conversation forward. Okay, you know what these hoes on. What's the next step? An adaptation and prevention, which doesn't include the blue pill shit. It doesn't include none of that. It includes moving from a position where you are the one in power. You know what I'm saying? And niggas don't want to do that. They want to be the subservient one to these hoes, man. I think we've seen that. But let me get to Trill. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? Y'all busy right quick. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna chime in in a little bit.
So why'd you hop on right now?
Somebody just walked up to me.
He just gonna soak up this game. He's gonna soak up this game.
I'll just mess around. But yeah, but what you were saying, brother? I forgot who that was. All right, it's Mike's thing. He said he got a question. All right. You say you got another question, dog. Go ahead.
It's not business related. So I think one of the guys, like 25 years old, Face Facts, you're saying that they use like Snapchat or whatever now. But I was just wondering, how do you just let them know, like, I don't really care if you're a hoe or you don't got to try to play this image with me, just from the get go, you know?
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, no,
But
that's what I'm
it's like a
saying.
very
It's not
direct
that.
way, you know, like you're not trying to waste any time. You know, I don't give a fuck what you do. You know, you don't got to try to like pretend with me and shit.
Don't
No,
talk
I'm
about
gonna
it.
You
answer
gotta
that for you.
talk about
When you go to these- yeah,
I smack. Just get at these bitches and just kick it like you regular do, dog. Don't be asking the bitch, oh, who you did this and
No,
all that.
God, these men are just such losers. Like, I can't. He really came up there to ask about using Snapchat. Using Snapchat. I can't. Oh. Guys, what is going on? These men are really out here asking questions about women that they are in the same conversation saying don't even qualify for what they want. I mean, I just can't.
I don't have a problem, you know, with like, I'm just, you know, you could always learn more, you know, because like you guys are saying time changes.
Just don't talk like these niggas talk. It's that simple. Just don't do. Yo, we just ain't the chat. Like, go to the dating coach. I'm just saying, bro. I'm gonna tell you what not to do. I'm gonna tell you what not to do. Don't pull out a chart. Don't pull out graphs. Don't pull out historical data. Don't pull out documentaries and don't try to shame, blame. I'm gonna tell you what not to do. Okay?
Bitches don't give a fuck about stats, bro.
Yeah.
Your question. So your question is how you deal with.
They want
your question is.
Let's Smurgle get at it though. Go ahead, Smurgle. Go ahead, Smurgle.
I got him. Your question is how you deal with OnlyFans bitches, basically.
Yeah, I just want to
like if you want to fuck with one.
the gadgets and the hoes.
Because I actually do deal with them. So all you do is just treat them like. Because I deal with like OnlyFans bitches, strippers, hoes, all that shit. Just treat them like normal women. They are normal women. Like, don't talk about it. And like, if they want you to be featured in her video, just kind of do it. Be like, break me off some change or whatever. You feel like you're like, whatever.
That's who they choose. Just confirmed it. These men choose Jezebels, OnlyFans girls, strippers. This is who they choose to give their time to, their money to, versus women who actually want relationships and want to be genuine. This is who they choose. They choose those women, and there's nothing wrong with those women. Those women are human and want relationships. I'm saying they choose those women and then come on here to complain and cry about how they couldn't be the Betty Crocker that they were hoping that they were going to be. Can't have both. Every woman is different and she has a way about herself, and that is her way. You're going to have to respect it or find the woman that is what you truly desire. But in this community, amongst these men in particular, these males, they do not look at girls who aren't half naked. That's just what I believe. They're not going to look at you if you half naked. They're not going to look at you if they know they can ejaculate onto you in a very fast amount of time, right? But then, right, this could be a good thing because who the hell wants to deal with guys like this? Who? Especially if you are a woman that wants a relationship. These men are not relationship material. And it is, I mean, I don't even know the word. I mean, it is crazy how they come on here and complain about these things. They really complain and think that they are the good guys. They really believe that they are the guys with something to offer, with stuff going on. They believe this, and that is very alarming. And it's really just pathetic. I'm sorry. I cannot. I cannot. Modern men are choosing Jezebelic women over wives, and then they come on here and cry about how they can't have a wife, about how there's not enough wives. There are plenty of wives. They just don't want to be around you. There are women who have the wife mentality but are completely opting out of relationships altogether because of men like this just so around and wanting to be in their face. Right? Which is why when I showed you guys that statistic that an overwhelming majority of men are really the only ones who want relationships compared to women. And it's not that women aren't relationship material, they just don't want to deal with the BS. They don't want to deal with the BS, and I don't blame them. I definitely don't. Not with this type of guy. Not with these guys. Ever. Not at all. All right, ladies. Well, that is what I wanted to show you guys because woo, I've just been seeing a lot, and I needed to bring this up because this is a real thing. Men crying online about how they are wanting wives, but choosing Jezebel, chasing Jezebel, and then crying about what Jezebel does, right? They want the girl that is half naked. They don't want the girl that is instead has hobbies. They don't want that girl. These men are in conversations regarding how to talk to girls in OnlyFans and young girls that use Snapchat. Like, it's giving predator. It's giving predator. Yep, they overanalyze every single interaction they have with women. They think every woman they cross paths with is for their game, just like predators. Yeah, it is. No type of humanization of women. None. And I feel for the ladies who do work in industries of, that are strippers and work in those types of industries, because this is how they talk about them in the end. And every woman has a story and has a reason for why she's doing what she's doing. I don't shame and I don't judge at all. And I still think that those women are human beings and they deserve to be treated as such. But, there are some things to think about when you choose to participate and live a certain lifestyle as a woman. There's other things you have to think about that's going to come along with that, no matter what it is. And it's shameful that these men choose to be around these types of women so much to the point where they dehumanize them and then consider them the majority of women. They're talking about girls who have their degrees still get down like strippers and OnlyFans and all this other BS. Like, what? This is crazy. especially since it's been reported everywhere that majority of young people aren't even engaging in physical intimacy like that. Abortion rates have gone down. Young girls aren't even getting abortions like that anymore. Right? Like young girls aren't even out here doing stuff like that anymore. And yet they're talking about it like it's just out of control out here. That the women are just out of control. Completely false. These men live in warped realities. They don't know how to choose a woman. They don't know how to even connect with a woman. You got men calling into shows about how to talk to a girl off of Snapchat and how to find a young girl and get on Snapchat. Like, this is pathetic. This is pathetic. Just, yeah. Sad. Well, that's all I wanted to show you, ladies. I'm going to go live again this weekend. My next live is going to be on dating interracially, and it's going to be on Black women. So I hope you guys tune in. It'll be a good one. And like this video, if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss it when I do go live, because sometimes I don't leave the lives up, but this one I'm going to leave up. I'm going to leave this live up, and I'll leave the one up on Saturday as well. So it is only 9:30 where I'm at, but I know in other parts of the world it's much later. So I hope you ladies have a great night, and I will talk to you ladies next time. Bye.